Chinese, Japanese, and Arabic. What do all three of those languages have in common?
This is the top 10 hardest languages to learn for English speakers. Number 10, Polish. Number 9, Icelandic. Number 8, no. Number 7, Basque. Number 6, Finnish. Number 5, Korean. Number 4, Hungarian. Number 3, Japanese. Number 2, Arabic. Number 1, Mandarin.
These languages are featured in many top 10 hardest languages to learn for English speakers. These languages are really hard, but we can go harder. Therefore, I compiled languages that are super difficult for English speakers. For clarification, when I mean English speakers, I mean English speakers and people who speak Indo-European languages. Second, I'll be dividing these languages into phonology and grammar because some languages have really hard phonology but really simple grammar, while others are the exact opposite. So, let's begin. On the phonology section, we have Nuhok. Nuhok is spoken in the town of Bella Cola in British Columbia. Unfortunately, this language is endangered, which is a shame because this language is so cool. First of all, the phonology is absolutely wild. And not only that, the way they form words is crazy because get this, most of the sentences in Nuhok, I believe, do not have as many vowels as we do in English. For example, he had in his possession a bunchberry plant. In Nuhok, this would be yeah, that's all one syllable. Here's another example. You had seen that I've gone through a passageway, and Nuhok would be that is absolutely crazy. And it's going to be really difficult for English speakers to really be fluent at New Hope because just the amount of constant clauses will really throw you over. Another really difficult language in the phonology section is Ho, spoken in Botswana and Namibia. Ho is known for its click consonants, and the Eastern dialect of Ho have about 80% of the words start with a click consonant. Ho has four tones: high, mid, low, and mid falling. There are so many tricky consonant clusters, tricky click consonants, ejects, and so many more, which makes Ho a really difficult language for English speakers to be really, really fluent at because we just don't have click consonants in English at all, which makes up the majority of Ho. Next, on the grammar section, we have Navajo. Navajo was famously used in World War II as code talk, and it was surprisingly unbreakable. And there are a lot of good reasons why Navajo could not be cracked. First of all, Navajo's grammar is so complex. One verb can have 84 conjugations. Plus, the verb changes based on the noun. So, if I'm talking about a blanket and then I'm talking about a cup, I have to use two different verbs that mean the same thing because I'm talking about different nouns with different properties and objects. So it's not like in English where I give you the blanket and I give you the cup. And Navajo, give will be a different word because the properties of a blanket is different from the properties of a cup. And not only that, all the verbs are pretty irregular and it's hard to find patterns in Navajo. Another language with insanely difficult grammar is Wayu. One YouTuber says that this language is the most distant from English grammatically. First of all, Wayu is verb subject object, which is the opposite of English subject object verb. Another thing, Wayu is a synthetic language. So unlike English where one word is one morpheme, in Wayu, you can add many prefixes and suffixes to the same word. Another really popular synthetic language is Turkish, where you see Turkish words being really long because they keep on adding suffixes. But in Wayu is prefixes and suffixes, which makes words really, really big. And these differences between English and Wayu makes it super difficult for English speakers because we have to wrap our head around the concept of adding many prefixes and suffixes to the same noun. And English doesn't do that. But at the very end, The hardest language in the world, both phonology and grammatically, is Isquil. But I forgot to mention the conlang side, where people have made really difficult languages. But one really difficult language, maybe the world's hardest language, is Isquil, created by John Quija in 1978. The purpose of Isquil is to make a language super dense. And what I mean is that in little words as possible, you convey a lot of meaning. For example, this word, which I can't even say, means to cause to happen to a distant and unseen entity as a consequence of another event, which the implications of the lingering or lasting results. And it does its job very well. The way it achieves its density is by having really complex phonology. So if I have the word ka, right, I can put tones and stress which will change the meaning of that word. Another thing that it cool achieves, not only just phonology, but the grammar wise it is cool. It's so complex. I couldn't even go over this without spending like 30 minutes going in depth explaining each concept because there are a lot of verb conjugation moods and all that stuff that makes Iskru super difficult and hard to learn. So at the end of the day, there are a lot of cool languages around the world. It's not always the same three language you see in the top 10 hardest language videos. There are much more, and I think we should recognize these difficult languages for being truly what they are: hard, unique, and interesting. Thank you for watching this video.